My name is Salma. I'm a grandmother now, the kind who always has candy in her bag, warm hugs ready, and eyes that look like they've seen too much. Because they have. People say time heals. But some wounds don't close, they grow with you. And mine started bleeding the day my mother died. I was just 10 years old. My sister Miriam had just turned 6. We were children, soft, small, and clueless about how fast life can turn cruel. Our mother was everything. She was warmth in winter, softness in a hard world, and light in a dim home. Her death wasn't expected. One day she had a cold, and 3 days later we were burying her in a quiet corner of the village cemetery. My father, heartbroken and unable to function, left. Said he'd find work in another country. He never came back. So they sent us to live with our grandfather. Now he wasn't a monster, not in the usual sense. People respected him. He was an old retired school teacher, always dressed neat, always quiet. But behind closed doors, that silence turned sharp. Cold. Controlling. He didn't raise his voice. But his expectations crushed us. We weren't allowed to cry. If Miriam sniffled, he'd glare at her with those glassy eyes. Be strong, he'd say. Your tears solve nothing. We weren't allowed to speak unless spoken to. We had to eat in silence. We had to clean the house before school. We had to sit with straight backs like little soldiers. At first, I thought he was grieving too. But it wasn't grief. It was ice. He ruled with emotionless routines, and any sign of weakness was punished not with beatings, but with isolation. If we disobeyed, he'd lock us in our room. No dinner. No explanation. The worst part? He never comforted us. Not once. No hugs. No kind words. Just silence. One winter night, Miriam got sick. Fever, shivering, couldn't stand. I ran to his room, knocking, begging for help. He opened the door, looked me in the eye, and said, "You're the eldest. Handle it." That night, I sat by her bed, pressing a damp cloth to her forehead, whispering lullabies I barely remembered. I was terrified of losing her, of being alone, of failing. But I didn't cry. I had learned not to. That's when I made a promise. One day, I would leave. I would take Miriam far away from this cold, loveless house. I started working small jobs at 13, helping a neighbor, washing dishes, even stitching clothes. I'd hide every coin I earned under a loose floorboard in the kitchen. I read books in secret, learned how to write resumes. I studied while Miriam slept. At 16, I was ready. One early morning before sunrise, I wrote a note. Thank you for the roof. But we need more than shelter. We need life. I left it on the table. We walked out with one bag each. Life in the city was far from easy. We slept on floors. Ate only rice for days. I took whatever work I could find. But for the first time in years, we laughed. We cried without fear. We healed slowly, painfully, but we healed. Miriam became a teacher. She now works with kids who've lost parents, giving them the warmth we once lost. And me? I worked in a library, then opened a reading corner for girls. And now I'm a grandmother. When my grandchildren fight or cry or scream, I don't hush them. I listen. I hold them. I remind them they're safe, because silence should never be forced, and no child should ever have to be stronger than their age. If this story moved you, please like the video, subscribe to our channel. and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Let's be the warmth we once needed. Let's break the silence together.